So good evening, everyone. I am Desai, secretary at Robotics Club, IIT Kanpur, and so we'll start the day one of our ROS workshop. So, firstly, like there are two questions which arise in the mind: that what is ROS and why ROS? So we'll answer the first question. So ROS is basically an open source meta operating system. In simple language, it means that uh, anyone can edit and like enhance the ROS operating system, and it is actually acts as a medium of communication between the hardware and the software of the robot. An analogy would be hardware can be a sensor for on any of the robots, and the software is what the code we write. So it is same as the operating system of our computer. So basically, the computer is the hardware, and the software part will be the application on the computer. One thing to note that it is not a language. Many people have doubt that it's a language, but no, it's basically a library in C++ and Python, and it contains lots of data types, functions, and packages. The second question which arises is why ROS? So there are many advantages of ROS. Firstly, it is open source, and it has introduced the concepts of packages. So with the help of that, packages are basically huge lines of codes which are written for a particular function. So instead of writing the codes all along our new concept, so we can directly invoke the packages and write them within our main code. The second advantage is that, as I told you, that it will help making establishing a communication between sensors and other hardware through, and this communication is established with the help of messages and topics. So we learn about this in the later stage. The third advantage would be that it has a good integration with the third-party simulation softwares. For example, Gazebo and Arvis. And the fourth and the last advantage would be that the standard ROS programmable robots, for example, in the simulation software like Gazebo, we'll have to have a programmable robot on which we can link our codes, and then we can make the robot do any work. So all such robots are also there, predefined. For example, TurtleBot 3 is a very good programmable robot, and Pioneer 3 DX also. So in this slide, you can see the image of the TurtleBot 3. This can directly, like what you have to do is basically you'll have the codes of this on GitHub. So you can basically clone it, and then you can use it as per your convenience. You can modify some codes, then you can make the robot do any work depending on your code, and you can see that work in Gazebo. So talking about Gazebo now. So Gazebo is basically, as I told you, a simulation environment, and it works hand in hand with ROS. So that is why that integrity of it with ROS makes ROS very advantageous. And in Gazebo, like there are many other features. For example, you can import custom CAD models. For example, if you want your robot to be designed in a very specific way, then you can model the robot in CAD. Then you can import it in Gazebo as per your requirement and convenience. The second thing is that Gazebo allows and defines all the physics and dynamics of our environment. For example, you can set the acceleration due to gravity and acceleration without gravity, just like our physics 101 in Firefox. It is the same thing, a much better version of that. And the third is it allows us to test code on a real world like environment. So this is the main and the most important point, because if you make a robot, suppose a physical robot, if you make it, and you have to test it for to check the correctness of algorithm and all. So if in while testing the program of your robot, what can happen? Sometimes the robot may fall, it may fall, and very impulsively it may break, or any loss can happen to our robot. So to avoid that and to avoid cost, basically, this is a part of our expense. So to avoid all that, what we can do, we can use Gazebo. We can test it in an online type of environment, and it is exactly similar to how the robot will be in a physical world. Moving on to the next slide. So the turtle bot, this is a picture of a turtle bot, which is modeled in Gazebo. Okay. Do you have any doubts? You can please raise your hand or unmute yourself.
If they have any doubt, they will actually write it in the chat box. You can continue.
Okay, sure. We'll take it out later. So, moving on to the next part, understanding the ROS file system. So basically, ROS has many, is basically a file system which has many meta packages and which has many packages. Basically, it diversifies itself so that we can easily write small codes and easily integrate it. There are the bifurcation of packages are package manifest, messages, services, and the code which we write. So these four combine to make a package. We'll see later what is a package and the examples basically. Okay, so now I think Sharat will introduce himself and explain.
Okay, so Catkin workspace. So what's a Catkin workspace? It contains multiple packages on which we work. Means so in ConstructSim platform, which we'll be using now to throughout our workshop, we have a pre-created Catkin workspace. So we need not need to build one. And basically a Catkin workspace contains 3 folders: build, devel, and SRC. The SRC folder, also known as the source folder, contains all the ROS packages. All the ROS packages which we'll be working on will be containing in the SRC folder. We'll come to that. We'll come to the ROS packages later. And the build folder.
Sorry for the interruption.
The build folder contains all the cache information and intermediate files. Like we are working on a ROS package, some ROS package, and we made some changes in it. So we need to update that build. We need to update the changes in the workspace. That changes will be updated through build and devel. Devel folder is where build targets are kept prior to installed. So these both work almost the same. Like we do some changes in the ROS packages, then we build and source it. So we make some changes in ROS package, then we tell the workspace that we have committed some changes and prepare it for the next use. Okay. So next slide.
I think now you all should go to the ConstructSim. This is very informative, but we'll see the hands-on explanation of Catkin workspace side by side, basically. So have you all created your account in the ConstructSim? If not, please do so in order to get a better clarity of this workshop. I think we'll wait for 2 minutes.
If possible, show them the demo, like make an account from other item.
Yeah, I think they can make their accounts. It's fine. Just,
yeah, we'll wait
take
for
time
them
to make simple. You can make a random account. You can even make it using temp mail or something, but you have to make it. So if you have any doubts, you can type it in the chat. So we'll try to answer. Okay, Disha, move forward.
Okay, so shall I start?
Go to your ROS.
Yeah. So basically,
Everyone can just a minute. Everyone can confirm. Like if someone is stuck, then please tell so that we can wait. Otherwise, if you are done, just type a yes. Who will then start?
okay, I'll start. So basically, we are using a platform called as the Construct Sim. And why we are using, because it is very convenient for us to teach all of you, those who are on Windows also. Basically, ROS is available on Linux, but if you want to learn ROS, you can learn it on any operating system. And this is a good platform for it. So after you have created your account on the Construct Sim, you can like see what I am doing. Like you can you'll have to create a ROS project. Basically, ROS project means a ROS project, which we'll be working on for today's workshop. So basically, we'll go to my ROS project. First, click on the my ROS project, then click on the new ROS project. Then there'll be a drop down on ROS distro. So basically, this means that there are many distributions of ROS. For example, Linux has also many distributions like Ubuntu, Kali, Arch, etc. So like that, ROS also has many distributions like Kinetic, Melodic, etc. Noetic. Basically, we'll do the Melodic right now because it has better features and it is like related to Ubuntu 18.04. And the name basically. Okay. Description. Okay. So now we'll run this. It will take some time to run. So please bear with me.
Hope you all are doing it side by side, so that if you have any doubts, we can clear it here.
Okay. So basically, some part of the application is opened. So in the bottom left corner, you can see there are 6 basically icons. So this icon is basically web shell, which is Linux terminal, and your IDE basically, wherein you will write commands to execute certain uh, commands only basically. And this icon is the code editor. It is like just like VS Code or Sublime, wherein you can write your code. Then this is a Jupyter notebook, which is opened here, and you can see the README file over here. I'll close it as of now. Then yeah, this is the Gazebo. So you can open Gazebo side by side in this application also, which is a very good feature. And yeah, these are the graphical tools which we don't need as of now for this workshop. And yeah, this is the related to the construction. Okay, so we'll open the web shell first, and we'll open the code editor. So these are 2 things which are mandatory in order to, like, write the code and execute it basically. So okay, so firstly I'll tell you about some commands of Linux. Basically, the ls command, it will tell us that what is present in that directory. Basically, via the tilde sign here, basically this sign, the tilde, it is basically the home directory. So if you write ls, then it will show that whatever directories are present in the home directory. Okay. So the commands will be explained later on also as we write the code. I'll explain side by side. So now what Sarath had told about the Catkin workspace. we can observe that we already have a Catkin workspace over here as a directory. So basically, if we want to change our directory from home to Catkin workspace, we'll write cd and then catkin_ws. We'll write the whole name. Even if you don't want to write the whole name, and if you just write cat and press tab, then you can go to that. Then it will just auto complete it basically. Okay, so now we are in the Catkin workspace, and if we do ls, we can see the three main things which Sarath had told: the build folder, devel folder, and the src folder. Okay, so now next slide.
Okay, now I previously in the workspace, I talked a lot about ROS packages. Now we'll say what's ROS package. So ROS package is like a, the ROS package contains all the codes that we use to run a bot or something. The packages contains everything, the codes. So how to create a ROS package? First, we need to get into src folder in our workspace, then run the command which is given in the second line. So this will show how it's done. After we complete it, since we have made the changes in our workspace, as I told, we need to build and source it for the workspace to get to know that we have made some changes. So now Dishay will show how to create a.
Exactly. So now the first thing we saw is that we'll have to create a package inside the src folder. So we'll first change the directory to src, and here we'll type the command catkin_create. If you don't want, then you can press tab. It will write the whole command. Then the package name. Suppose if we give the package name as test, and the third option which comes here is basically dependencies. So basically dependencies in this are basically ROS CPP. Some of the examples are ROS CPP, ROS Spy, and standard messages. So basically ROS CPP means that we'll have to write our code for ROS in a C++ language. So, and we'll preferably do that only today. So we'll include this package ROS, this dependency, sorry, ROS CPP. Okay. So now, as you can see, the execution is over, and many new folder files are created, like package.xml, cmakelist.txt, then the test folder and the src folder. So yeah, we'll explain that in the next slide basically. But before that, Sarath.
Okay. And we have to build and source since we have made some changes.
Okay. So Catkin, should I do Catkin build or Catkin make? Because we were discussing that.
Right now, I think you have to initialize new one. So I guess make is fine.
Okay, cool, fine. Okay, so as written in the slide, you have to build and source the changes. So for that, we'll have to use catkin make command. Okay, sorry, this is yeah. So the error which is shown here is basically because we can only write catkin make in the catkin workspace folder and not in the src folder. So for that, now I'll have to go to the catkin workspace directory. So either you can write cd double dot. So basically cd double dot means that it will go to a directory which is before the src, like previous to the src folder. So in this case, it is catkin ws here. Okay, and now I'll write catkin make. Okay, and yeah, basically the build is going on. Okay. So as you can see, the subdirectory is added and the build files are made. And then we'll just see that what has actually happened. here. So first we'll do ls. Okay, these three are safe. Then we'll go to src. Again type ls. Okay, so now earlier test was not there. So now we have test, and we'll go to test and see what is there. Okay, now inside test also there is 4 files basically: cmakelist.txt, include, packet.xml, and src. So yeah, now one more important thing, that this command source catkin ws underscore devil dot setup dot bash. This is the most important command, and you will have to use it whenever, like, this is the most important. It's like the Bible of ROS. You'll have to include it for you to execute all the programs and all. So we'll just type the command here. /devil / setup dot bash. Okay, so this is executed, and now what? Okay.
So when we created ROS packages, we saw many directories were created. Now we'll see what are those directories. So when we create ROS package, it basically, at max, it can have this many of the directories. So src is the file where it contains all the nodes. Nodes is nothing. Nodes Sarthak will be explaining it lately. So it's nothing but it contains all the CPP files. It contains all the codes. And include package. This contains all your header files, C++ header files. Config file folder contains all your parameters. So parameters will also be taken lately. No need to worry about this. Launch contains launch files, MSG folder contains message files, and SRV contains service files. This all will be what are launch files, message files, and service files, all will be taken lately. So no need to worry about this. So just keep in mind that there are separate folders inside ROS packages to keep these launch files and message files. So basically, when we create a ROS package, it only includes src include and cmakelist.txt and package.xml. We'll talk about cmakelist.txt and package.xml. So this message ROS also gives some standard messages and some messages which can be used. So this message files contains custom messages. So say we need some other message files which ROS doesn't provide. So we need to create that message file and store it in this folder. Same applies to the services also. There are a lot of services provided by ROS, but if we need some custom services, we need to create a service, then we should contain it in this folder. So when we created a package, we also saw that it contained a cmakelist.txt. So I'll be telling you some major components of the cmakelist.txt, and Dishay will show it later, just after I explain.
Yeah, one more thing. Okay, so any doubts which you have, you can, there is a ROS org at wiki / ROS org, wherein they have tutorials. Basically, we'll go there right now to just take a glance at what it has. So right now we are doing CMake list. So ROS CMake list. Then the first side. Okay, so yeah, this is basically an overview wherein you'll have the command and also an explanation of what it means. So I'll show you in the IDE also one by one. So like after Sarath will explain, I'll show you. Sarath?
Can you go to the slides? I'll explain
Yeah.
first.
Okay.
Okay. So the first point, in most of the CMake list, the first line itself contains the CMake list version. CMake minimum required. This shows the minimum version of CMake that is required to run this ROS workshare. And so, what is CMake? CMake is it's a kind of language itself, but it says the compiler that these files are C++ and these files are Python, and compile them in G++ and Python respectively. So why do we need CMake? As we saw while creating a ROS package, we added dependencies as ROS CPP. That means we will be coding entirely in C++. But this is not the general case. We can have a package in which we code both in Python as well as C++. At that time, for the compiler, there need to be something that says these files are C++ and these files are Python. They come C++. CMake, which tells the compiler that these files are C++, compile them with respective compiler, and same applies for the Python. So the next one is package name. So the project and the brackets, within the brackets, the package name will be listed out. And so find package. Find package contains the dependencies that we add. Like if our package depends on any other ROS package, so we need to add this under find package so that it can utilize the sources from the other package also. In our dependencies, we took ROS CPP. So Disha will show that when we...
Should I show it right now or?
Show it right now, no problem.
Yeah. Okay. So we basically we have the CMake list in the SRC file folder, and we'll open that basically. Okay. So firstly, Sarath told about the first line of the CMake list.txt. Then this will be the project folder. Within bracket, we'll have the name of the dependencies we created, and then the find underscore package, wherein we have installed the dependencies ROS CPP only. But if you want to install anything, you can just write it here, like ROS-py and standard underscore messages. These are basically dependencies which we can add here, and they'll be shown like easily comprehended in the IDE also. Then I guess, yeah, the message file.
So the add message files and the add service files. So we talked about the custom messages and custom files. If we are using the custom message and custom files, it's kind of a dependency. So we need to add it here in the add message files and add service files. Then generate messages. Generate messages is also for dependencies. If we are keeping any dependencies, we need to add it here. Generate is a kind of adding dependencies.
Nice thing.
Add executables.
Okay.
So add executables. Yeah. If you see in the line number 134, you can see add executables. Add executables. So if we create any C++ file, we know that we need to add an executable for that. So same takes place in ROS. We create any node, then we need to add an executable for it. That will be doing by add executable and target link libraries. And another good thing about CMake list, as you can see here, CMake list has already provided us everything in a commented matter. So we have not written this. They have provided us this with a slide description and everything in a commented manner. So whenever we need it, we can just uncomment and use it. Okay. That's all about CMake list.
Okay, so before proceeding further, we'll wait for 5 minutes to see if everyone is pulling up to this point. Like they have made packages and they can package in packages.
Okay.
If you haven't, then please feel free to ask.
Or type yes, like if you followed till now, because now I'll be most probably coding the thing, and that will give you the whole feel what these words actually mean or what these terms mean.
If
Type yes or no
anyone-
if you are following or not.
Yeah.
Anup, can you clarify your question? Like, what do you mean? I don't understand. Like, whatever language you write your node in, you will always need to update the executable in CMake list. Doesn't matter.
Okay, so please make sure if everyone is with the package, which
So
is
all of
shown
you get
in
the
this screen.
general gist, right? Whatever is happening. Basically, we have just created a directory. Inside the directory, there is a source file in which there are nodes, right? And other files like CMake list and package.xml. And we will now use this to create a very small OS. You will see. Okay, Disha.
You can go.
Okay. So the next one is package.xml. So if we see in package.xml, this is also a file where we need to add the dependencies. There's a lot of types of depend which is listed out. We'll not go deep into it. And in our case, we'll mostly be using the depend command. So the depend one actually specifies the dependency as build, export, and execution at the same time. So 3 types of dependencies will be used at the same time, and this one will be the most commonly used dependency tag. So this will show you the package.xml.
So it is just below the CMake list.
So Disha, can you scroll down?
Yeah.
So here, if you see, ROS CPP has added as the dependency as a build depend, build export, and executive depend. Instead of adding these 3, we could have just written depend ROS CPP. So that would also have done our work. So this is all about package.xml. So adding dependency. So what and all changes we need to do in package.xml and CMake list to add something as our dependency. So first we'll look in package.xml. As I said, after all, at the end we can add a line like depend, the package name, and the depend. So as we saw previously, the package name was ROS CPP. We had written ROS CPP. So this will be the editing in package.xml. So then when we come to CMake list.txt, in the find package function, we need to add the file name of our dependency. As we saw in CMake list, we had ROS CPP inside package find package. So that will be our dependency. So this is how we add a dependency for our packages. And so this is all about the theory part. From here, Satak will be teaching you how to create a basic node. So this is all about our theory part, and the fun part begins now. Okay, so, Sarthak, take it.
I'll stop sharing, and I guess Sarthak will.
Sarthak will continue.
Yeah, I'll share my screen. 1 second. एक मिनट. हाँ, so अब लोग लाइक अब हम नोट बनाएंगे रॉस में, बट बिफोर वी मेक नोट, लाइक अभी भी मेरे को लग रहा है कि मेनी ऑफ यू को अभी भी रॉस का फील नहीं आया होगा, लाइक एग्जैक्टली रॉस कर क्या रहा है, राइट? सो बिफोर मैं कुछ भी स्टार्ट करूँ एंड नोट के लिए, लाइक यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द इंटायर प्रोसेस क्या हो रहा है रॉस में. सो आई टेक सम लाइक 10 minutes एंड देन आई नो कुछ लोगों को आता होगा पहले भी, बट स्टिल आई अज्यूम कि लाइक स्टार्टिंग से स्टार्ट करते हैं. सो आई एक्सप्लेन नोड क्या होता है, टॉपिक क्या होता है और पैकेज क्या होता है, ठीक है? थोड़ा सा टाइम लूंगा, लाइक बहुत थोड़ा सा, बट इससे काफी ज्यादा क्लैरिटी आएगी. तो बेसिकली क्या करना है हम लोगों को, मतलब हम जो प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट डील करने वाले हैं, इट्स लाइक कि सपोज आई गिव यू एन इंटीजर. देखो मान लो कि लाइक मैंने आपको इंटीजर दिया 1 एंड आपका काम यह है कि आपको आउटपुट देना है लाइक दूसरे हाथ से. मतलब अगर आपको एक हाथ में 1 दे रहा हूँ, सो आपको दूसरे हाथ से मेरे को उसका स्क्वायर देना है. 1 का स्क्वायर तो 1 हो गया, लाइक 2 दे रहा हूँ तो दूसरे हाथ से 4 देना है. सो बेसिकली पॉइंट इज, अब लाइक ह्यूमंस में तो लाइक तुम हाथ ज्वाइन कर सकते हो ना, तुम हाथ. Yeah.
So it would be better if you explain in English.
Yeah, okay.
The participants.
Acha, okay, cool. So basically, like suppose I give an information to your one hand, like I give you an integer, say ball, and I write on the ball an integer, say 3, and your task is to like return me the square of that integer, right? But the condition is you're not allowed to communicate between yourselves, like you're not allowed to like tell your one hand the information to the other hand. So how do like why are we studying ROS basically? So kya, like what would be happening is that suppose you take some information from a sensor. Suppose like many like from camera I took the coordinates of my like say bot as XYZ, and now I want key like I study these coordinates, I study the velocities, and I respond to it optimally. Like I want to, so say suppose I want to move right. So first of all I want to see that object, and then I want to tell me that I have to like rotate towards right or left, right? So अब ROS में वो कैसा होगा? So I'll give an analogy of human. अब क्या होता है? Like suppose we are trying to create a robot, right? And robot is like the version of human only, like the technical version of human. So humans maybe suppose if you touch fire, so there's a nerve that goes to brain, right? So that this nerve takes the information of say heat, and this it puts it into a container. Call that container as, call brain as a container for now. And then this container, like another nerve come and then takes the information from it. So basically क्या हो रहा है, like one nerve is putting information inside the container और दूसरा nerve उससे ले रहा है. So ROS में भी same होता है, like and ROS में क्या होगा, you will node जो होगा, there would be a node that will put the information in a container called as topic. So basically what we will say, I'll tell you that integer is say n. So you will take input through a node. You'll take an input through a node. You'll write a code here to take an input, C in wala jo we write in CPP, and then we will dump this. Also, we will put this information in this a container. There's a container, okay. And then another node comes and takes this information from this container. So then another guy comes and then it takes the information from this container. Suppose you inputted 3, so it took the output as 3, and then like while printing, it will square it and print 9. Right. So suppose you put 5, another it will dump it into a container called as topic, and then you will output it the square of it 25. Now why we are like why don't we like do this, like node 1 goes to node 2 and there is no need of topic at all? I'll come to this later, but I guess now you get a like little feel of why what is node and why we are trying to create node and all, right? So let's just start now a little piece of coding as well. So 1 second. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. So have you guys like created what Dishay like did in the workspace? Like, have you guys created that workspace in your project? Like, I have created that, and my project is a demo. Like, Dishay used test, right? So I have used demo. Now, what you need to do, you need to first go to SRC. SRC, like when you will open your VS Code now, so the SRC would look like this, and then you open One second. Yeah. So this is SRC. Now, as of now, it consists of package.xml and CMake list. Do not worry about them. Like I will just write the main code of it. I would like to add a new file and say it is, yeah. In the example, there was the first node was like putting into the information, right? The post node was like giving the information. So let us call it as sender.cpp. Okay. Now let's start coding exactly and how it has to be like a step-by-step process. So, like you have to follow some like rules and guidelines. As like जब हमने like we learned C and CPP and right. So you have to follow that rules here also. So the first line you need to include is include ross.h. So like C in ESC 101 we had a habit of including stdio.h, right? Again, it's a header file that contains the information about ross. Then is include standard messages string.h. Now, if you guys are not clear about standard messages yet, I'll give one like a very quick example for it. Messages is basically nothing. It's like a structure only. Like suppose you want an orientation from the sensor, right? So the message would contain the coordinates say x, y, z, or if you want angular velocity, so the message would contain omega x, omega y, and omega z, right? So if you want just messages to contain strings, so it will contain strings. So basically, what type of message do you want to pass? Like what kind of information do you want to pass? You need to include that information. So this is this. And then third is you need to start your code. So again, like int main, and then there are two declarations that you have to make, int argc and this. We'll come to this later, and I guess it's like will not touch very deeply. Just remember for now, it's like a practice we have to do like to execute the code. Yeah, so that's done, right? Okay, let's just come to the problem statement first, and then we'll start with it. So the problem statement is same that I gave you in the example. The problem statement is I'll give you an input. Input is an integer. You have to take input from node 1. Then, as I told you have to put it into a container. Then you need to keep that name of a container, like say I've kept it as a demo topic. You can keep anything. Put the name of the container as demo topic. Bring out another code file, node 2, that will take that information from them. So basically, you need to create two code files. One that will take your input. You cannot output in the same file like you used to do in your ESC, right? So you need to take input from one node file, put it into a container, tell another node code file to take information from that container, right? That will do. So the first one is called as publisher because it is publishing, of course, and the second one is called as subscriber because it is like subscribing. The names are like self-explanatory, right? So now writing nodes inside the main function. Now let's just do it side by side. So one second. If you are like still like you can start writing the code. It'll take like 15 minutes to write one code. So like we'll be done by doing in 30 minutes. So I'll also write with you. Yeah, let's start. So the first one was include ross. If you want, I can like give you the entire code as well, but I guess we should write it, right? Yeah. Include ross.h, right? So included the ross file, then we need to include the standard messages. Dishay, like just keep an eye on if I make like some error in like typing or not.
Yeah. The standard message is basically what input we are giving to the topic, which Sarthak explained. Like in the container, like as of now, this problem asks us for an integer input. So we are writing /int64 since we want input as an integer to the container, which is topic.
Yeah. So like declare like include files are done. Then you need to do int main, right? The main file that you start with. Now this is a publisher code, like the node 1 code that will take the input and put into a container. Okay. So int argc. We are not touching this. Why do we write this as of now? We'll deal it later. But just remember, as of now, it's a practice, right? Basically, the fun part of ROS is like there are something like you get to correlate two nodes together through a system, through a master. So that is the fun part of the operating system. in like the normal code you do, you have to take input and output in the same file, right? So yeah, I'll explain now. Yeah, suppose say I take an input from my hand about a ball, and I want my other like I take an input from my eye, the position of the football, and I want my leg to function according to it. So I want to give an information to my brain, and then it sends to the leg, right? And therefore we can create a human-like object which is called as robot. So now I guess you're like understanding why it is the need to like create nodes and topics. This is done. So this is ROS init. The first line in the int main function is ROS init argc argv sender one. Now let's see. ROS init is initializing the ROS. Like you have to initialize the ROS system, right? So like going to into details, initializing the ROS. After this, you need to write the node name. So I'm considering the node name as to be sender one as of now. You can like keep up. Let's just keep publisher, like for sake of clarity. I'll keep publisher. And after this, you need to initialize your node handle, right? Node handle nh. So this is nh is like you want to control your node, right? So node is also like you can consider it to be say you want to control it, so you require a pointer to like if you want a node to go there, or like you want to pass a node into another function, you want an argument, like you want a pointer, right? So this is the handle that that you can use to like pass your node. They basically tackle your node, right? After that, you need to write ROS. Guys, do keep writing this code with me. Like I can share the code directly, but like it will be not of that use. You should write the code yourself. nh.advertise, and also like it will lead to creation of more doubts, and like the more the number of doubts you get, the like better you become, right? So
I would like to add a point here, like the code that Sarthak is trying to write, it's like it has analogy with C++, or C that you actually learned in your first year. So I guess it's like you are able to understand the basic terms, maybe like in it or stuff.
okay, so I'll maximize it a little. So this is now ROS publisher. Now the code we are writing is of a publisher, right? So we want to publish this. So we are initializing now the publisher node. Let's come to next. Okay, so we are like creating a publisher in this, and 1 second. Yeah. So the publisher name we put is chatter pb, and that is nh.advertise. nh.advertise is used for like publishing. It is like inbuilt function in ROS. Then you need to type the message, like which message you want to like take input or like you deal with. So that is, we told you the problem statement was int64. If you want like to deal with say a different type of message, so you need to add that message here. And do remember, if you're like adding that message, so you need to include that file also. Suppose like if I want to add a different structure, like I created my own structure, so and I want to use it, so you need to add here and here, right? Now what is this demo topic? This demo topic is the container that I was talking about, like the container जिसमें तुम information dump करोगे, yeah, like store करोगे. So this is the name of that container, and the 10 is 1 second. Yeah. So the 10 is queue size. Like so as of now in this, like it's a simple problem statement. We're not like telling into queue size. I'll like Sharath or Disha will explain later, like when we'll like just revise the code at last, you can like ask them. After this, let's just start, right? So now let's write a while loop, and let's just take the input, right? So we in this we just need to take the input from the like user. So that is an easy code. Declared an integer s. Okay. Now while ROS okay. Okay. So ROS okay is like it's a function like that tells you whether ROS is running or not. For example, if your bot is running or not, you need something to know, right? So this function tells you, like if you suppose in the terminal I put control C, and like I do not want to function it, or if I get an error, I want to stop my code, right? So I'll like stop the code, and as soon as I stop the code, this condition becomes false. So this is therefore we use like ROS. Okay, I guess this is yeah, cool. So next is yeah. So now I declared a standard message. My name of my message is MSG. You can keep any name of your message. So yeah, I guess there is some error here. Like okay.
So basically, standard underscore message is a class, and this we are invoking the variable 60 in 64, and the variable name is message. So similarly, ROS and double colon is also a ROS class wherein we are like using some of its member functions.
Okay, so then I took an input like simple. You take a CPP input. You take a input same as. Now, what? Why did I do message dot data? So like for any structure you need like ESC 101. Remember again, like any structure you need the like. But when you declare a structure, you declare right. There would be int this. There would be char this, and when you call that structure, you have to do dot like struct dot data like this, right? So how does this structure look like in 64? So any standard message you get, just put on Google and gets its documentation in 64. Wait, just like copy this. Yeah, so there is a documentation available on like ROS, and then you can get the documentation of everything. So like this is the integer that we are declaring in this structure is data. So suppose if I like want to access it, I have to do message dot data, right? So I'll assign it is equivalent to s. So in the structure, I define that data value would be s. And suppose if you like if you're passing a pointer, then you have to use that sign if you remember, right? So exactly the same thing that you do in CPP or C. So message.data is equal to this. And now the main thing you are publishing. 1 second. Yeah. So now you're publishing, right? So so this message, it published my message. Where did it publish it? It published it in the container that I was talking about, right? I remember the analogy again. So it published it in the demo topic, and yeah, so that is done. And then last is ROS spin ones. I'll correct it. Disha, like, can you explain the spin ones? Disha, so that someone explain this, I'll write the code ahead.
Okay, the raw spin ones is related to it spins the while raw ones means I'll first explain the Q1. So the Q number 10 written is saying that raws to keep a stack of 2 between two, keep a stack of 10. So it will take 10 inputs, then print the output. It runs like that. It takes 10 queues, the 10 inputs, then outputs the 10. So it's like a stack. Takes in 10, then allows it out, the number which we enter, like currently it's 10. And the spin one says it to run. The spin one says is to run the queue size.
Okay, so now we have like we took an input, we published it into the topic. Now that container is containing your integer as of now, right? Like you have to take that integer from that container and square it and print it. So again, like the subscriber node initialization is like the starting thing is again same. Now there is some differences in a subscriber node now that I like to point out, and then
Sarthak,
yeah.
1 minute, I would like to interrupt you. Like in the center.cpp, like just add a semicolon at the end of the 9th line.
Where?
At the end of the 9th line. After 10.
Yeah, okay. This thing. Okay. Yeah. So now let's come to yeah. So I've written the node of publisher. I've taken the input. This is the node. Like this is the same example I've written, and you can get the code here also. We can also give you like the copy of it. This is also done, right? So now let's come to subscriber node. Again, subscriber node, you need to remember you have to like take information from a topic. Now it is very obvious and intuitive that topic has to be same. Like if you're like putting information into one container, you have to take that from that container only, right? So you can see like when you write raw subscriber nh.subscribe, the topic name here is the same as that you like kept in the like first node, right? Now there is a new thing in this subscriber node which is called as a callback function. Now in the first go, it is like difficult to understand callback function, but like for an intuitive idea, you can consider that every process you do, like the here is the process is squaring the data. Suppose the process is summing the data. The process is like say taking an under root, or say like doing an entire algorithm of it. So you have to do in a function called as a callback function. And this function is a void function, like the return, it does not return anything. It's a void function. So before I write this, like there's a very simple question, like if you want to return something from a void function, like how will you return it? There is no return type, right? So you are passing, but what should you pass, or like what should you do if you want to return something from a void function? Like we learned it in like ESC 101, so the same concepts are applying here. Like you can type on chat, or Dishay and Sharat can see. So till then, I'll like keep writing my subscriber note. Before it, anyone has any doubt in like understanding meaning of ROS, or like in this code, the publisher code?
Like obviously they have doubts, but I mean once they see it running, they will understand.
Yeah, and there is like I think I should just like now copy the code, and then I'll show you it running, right? 1 second, I'll stop. So now I'll like use the my code already written, and then I'll show you how it runs, and then explain the subscriber node also. Yeah. So yeah, guys. So I have like done this, and I'll just copy this. Okay. So there's a node, like what you can do is like you can copy the entire code there, and then you can like comment this out. So when we did it for first time, we like used the same code, commented this out, and then just added this callback function. So what are the differences in the first code and the second code? Let's just see. Forgetting this for the while, and say start again, int main, int rc char. This is same. You have to initialize the ROS. You have to like type the name of the node. Now the second nerve, like the nerve is from the human analogy. The second node is we keeping the name as subscriber node. Okay. Now after this, again you need some handle to control it, right? So the node handle nh. Then you need to subscribe it. You need to subscribe from some container, and that container is demo topic. It has to be the same container that we talked about, right? So the container here was demo topic. So again, the container here is demo topic. Now this function is a callback function. We call it again, like we call it. What does this callback function do? So guys, I asked you, like if you want to return something from a callback function, you generally pass pointers, right? From a void function, you pass pointers. So like in suppose not in this problem, suppose in any other problem, like if you want to like get this message pointer back, like message you want to like say you want to change it, and you get this changed value back, you can do is that you can create a global node, and then pass a pointer to it, and then use it in the main function. Like otherwise there is no mean to like pass this pointer back to the main function, right? So you can also use your like ESC 101 tricks here. And so coming to this function, we just said you have to see out like this. You have to see out the square of the data. So I pass the pointer MSG. So to access the data, I have to use this. You can use star message, then bracket, then dot data, or either you can use message this sign data, and then square of it, and then end the code. It's a very simple code. You took an input from this, you put it into a container called as demo topic. You took that information from the demo topic, you squared it, and you just printed it out, and that's done. So your two nodes are completed, right? Now just you have to put them into the system. Like there's a ROS operating system, you have to just put it. So there are some steps that you have to follow. There are two like formalities that has to be done before you can like actually see it running. I guess Sharath, like you can speak and then I'll
Yeah.
put changes here.
Okay. So now since if you see the publisher and the subscriber, we included standard messages. So standard message is a package. So our package depends on standard message package. So now we need to add it as a dependency. First, Satak will be adding the executable for the publisher and the subscriber.
Yeah. So now you have created a code, but like you need to tell the system that it is running, right? Or like you want to execute it. So like you have to write the statement add executable. Now there is a like convention like you need to follow this statement. One second. Yeah, this. So add executable. Executable name is like the node name that you need to write, right? So my node was what was my node? Node name. Node name was publisher, so I need to write publisher. If the node name was subscriber, I need to write subscriber.
So keep in mind that the file name and the node name will not be the same.
Yeah. So that is also one thing. Yeah. So I'll write for publisher first. Publisher, then src, and now the file name. So the code was sender.cpp. Sender.cpp. Yeah. So then you need to write target link libraries. Target link. Now this is just a formality that has to be done like before you could see your like code running on the system. So you need to write.
Sarthak, you
again.
can just uncomment that. I think it is written.
Yeah. Okay. I'll uncomment it. Yeah. 1 second. This thing, right?
Yeah.
Just write your node name here. That was publisher, right? So keep this. And now you need to do the same thing for the second executable file, that is your subscriber node. Just change this thing, subscriber. And now see the file name of the subscriber. The file name of my subscriber is final.cpp. Change it, copy this thing, Control C, and then like the node name of subscriber is like subscriber only. So subscriber, right? I guess we are done, right? So we have added an executable. We have added target link libraries, executable subscriber, and target link libraries.
One more thing, we'll have to add our dependency standard messages at the top.
Yeah. So as I told, standard messages is a dependency for our package. So we'll be adding the dependency. So to add a dependency in CMake list, we should include it in find package. So Satak, can you scroll a bit up?
Yeah. 1 second.
Yeah. After ROS CPP.
In the find package, after ROS CPP in a new line, we include standard underscore messages, the package name, which we'll be using.
Right.
And now the editing in CMake list is done. So we should edit package.xml for the dependencies.
Yeah.
So near to the end, we'll add depend. So add it in line 55 after every dependency.
Yeah. Like wait, I'll look for the command.
I think you can just copy 51, 52.
Okay.
52, 53, 54, and instead of ROS CPP.
Basically, ROS CPP thing has to be repeated again. Exactly.
Yeah.
So why are we doing all these things? Everyone who is sitting here, since you guys are not asking, I will just assume you might have this doubt. We are doing this so that when we are using CMake, right? We are using CMake to compile all of our programs in nodes, and this something has to compile this code. the node code we have written. So we will be using G++, and if we had written Python, we will be using Python compiler. But we will be using CMake to command G++ what to do. And right now we are telling CMake to find these dependencies so that it can link it to those nodes. For example, if you want to include standard library in your code, your compiler must know where actual file is, the header file. And that's what we are doing.
Sharat, is it done?
Yeah, so now we have included standard message as a dependency. So we can use it in our package.
Yes. So now like the coding part is done. Now you just need to like run it on the terminal. So the point is you need to remember three things. So create your node codes like as it you create in like CPP. Remember this like some the lines you have to add. Then you need to remember you need to make changes into CMake list. You have to add packages, add executable and libraries, and then you have to change package .xml. So this three step has to be done. And once you like ensure you have done all of them correctly, now you could like go to the terminal and we'll like just this is the final stage of our workshop now. Open a terminal.
Since we have made changes, we'll build it and we'll source it, then we'll run it.
So first we open raw score. That takes some amount of time. In another terminal, you go to your workspace. Right now, you need to do catkin make. Like you need to update right what you have done. So if there is any error in the code, like say it can be like my code also has some like compilation errors. So it comes up here when you do catkin make. Like if by luck there are none, so like we can just proceed. Else we have to debug it. And it also takes some amount of time.
Since we have made a lot of changes, it might take.
Yeah, so
will take some amount.
I got grace. There are no compilation errors. So
we'll source it now.
Then you can like now you just need to put it into like you need to write one more command source devel setup.bash. Right. So entering it. Now I need to run my first node, right? So write ROS run. Okay, this line you have to execute. You have to like type this line before any node you run, like the source devel setup.bash, and this line has to be written in catkin workspace. So ROS run. The package name. The package name mine was demo. Dishay ka package name was test. So demo. Now node name. You can write tab. If I like enter tab, you can see there are two nodes. Like I did not type anything. There are two nodes. One is publisher, one is subscriber. I want to run publisher, right? So I'll just write publisher here. Right? And I put enter. Now here, if I enter one here, what would happen is it would take my input and put it into the container. Now we need to run the second node also, right? We need to see it happen simultaneously. So we'll open one more terminal. All right. Follow the same steps. Go to catkin workspace. Wait. Before running any node, you need to write a code source devel setup.bash. Now write same ROS run. Package name was demo, and the node we want to run is subscriber. Publisher is already running. Subscriber will run now. So now you can see two nodes are running. If I suppose give input here 2, you can see the subscriber is publishing 4. Printing 4. If I give an input 6, you can see 36. Now you can see like there is a you are putting input one place and getting output another place. How does this help a robot? For example, if you want to like let's just do like what we want at this time. Suppose if you want to like hit a ball by the bat, so your eye sees the position from your one sensor, your like say from the camera sensor, right? You get the position of the ball in this node, and then you in the subscriber node you do your mathematics, you do your algorithm, and then you will print where you have to like you will put out the information where you have to like take the bat, you hit the bat. So the transfer of this information from one node to another node is the basic like human thing that we are trying to execute here, and therefore we call it as a robot operating system, and we not like why, and therefore it is fun and it helps to create a robot, right? So this is a very like you can like test it also like 89 and then you get 791 etc etc etc. Yeah, so this is you can see now. I feel now it like seems to be more fun, but like the number of participants are less. uh, it's okay, like any doubts you can tell now.
So actually, I have a question here.
Yeah.
So actually, in the command line, you have, I mean, actually, in the screen, you have shown that two nodes are running, right? One is the
Yeah.
publisher, other is the
Yeah.
subscriber. So, is it possible to show that how the topic is working?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, wait.
we'll show it. We'll show it. Sarthak, show it
RQT
through the
graph.
RQT graph. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So what did I created my Microsoft whiteboard is all like it's also function in ROS. You can do this. So you need to write ROS running RQT graph like an RQT graph again. This is just a command.
You missed a T.
Sorry.
I think just by default, if you just write roster and RPT graph, then you show the graph.
Yeah.
No, I guess we need to write twice. 1 second.
Open the GUI so that it shows it. I guess you need to rerun it.
I mean, this is running, I guess. 1 second.
I guess you need to rerun it since GUI opened later.
Also, yeah, okay, wait. I'll rerun it. And my connect is also like construct sim is also hanging. 1 second. Yeah. So I'll open this and now I'll in another terminal I'll write it. Okay. ROS run RQT graph. Yeah. It worked. Now see, this is the publisher node. The like the intermediate work of like taking the information and then someone takes from it is done by this demo topic, right? The node is publisher, puts it into information into demo topic, and subscriber takes it from the demo topic, right? So the entire point of this like workshop was to like tell you this thing. 1 second. Was to tell you this thing that this direction of communication is not allowed. You need to go from this to this, right? So you cannot like you need to have a topic in between so that like you can function it. Okay. So now you could yourself see in itself that it is happening by now. Yeah. So who asked the doubt? I forgot your name.
Tanmay, I guess.
Is it Tanmay?
Yes.
Yeah. So Tanmay, now is it clear now, or like yes, you want to like go into more details?
No, it's fine. I have actually one more question here.
Yeah.
In the publisher node, you have shown that that the queue length is 10, right?
10. Yeah.
And for the subscriber also it is 10. So I guess that when you are sending the messages through command line, then it is getting stored in the queue. And whenever the subscriber is reading it from the topic, then also it is reading and storing it in its queue, right?
Yeah, it stores in the queue, but the thing is, when we don't, the queue runs so fast that we don't expect, it won't wait for our input. It doesn't wait for us to enter the input. The queue will be like, if you don't enter an input, it will be just passing null, so it won't be printing anything. So when you pass 1, say it will be one of the 10 components in the queue. one of the 10 components and the rest will be null. Since we are not passing it continuously, the queue will be not completely filled.
Okay.
So it happens like that. So as we enter one, it outputs one immediately. It doesn't wait for the next 9 inputs. The next 9 inputs were null.
Okay.
Did you get it?
Yes. Thank you.
Anyone else, if you have any doubt in like code or anything else? I guess this we are done with our today's topic, right? Is there anything left
Yeah.
that I'm missing?
Sarthak,
Yeah.
tell them about source, putting the source command in .bash.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
The source command, actually, we were running it every time, right? We can do something else. The fun part. Instead of running the code every time, we can make it whenever we open a new terminal, we can make it to run. So how can we do it? So there's a file in the home directory called bashrc. It would be hidden. So if we add the source code in it, it will run every time we open a new terminal. So how we'll be adding it? So Sarthak will show. Echo.
Yeah. So you need to write a like command, and then it will like add it into the bash rc file. So every time you will open your terminal, so like you do not need to write that source that one file. Like you can directly write Rosson and demo publisher node SSR. So yeah, echo.
And double inverted commas.
Inverted double commas.
Wait.
You'll write the
So
location.
So source code.
Catkin _ws.
Source should be written first, I guess.
First source.
So, like
I guess you missed
where
that.
we are telling that, no? What?
The code is source, then catkin workspace devil / setup.
Yeah. That's so right.
I guess you missed that.
Yes. Yeah. So in my previous example, I was like doing source devil setup.bash. The reason was that I was telling you again and again, you have to do in Catkin workspace. But if you write this, then you are sure that it would be done in Catkin workspace. Like first, this
every time you open a terminal, the codes in the bash rc will be ran. So we are adding the code into bash rc. How close the inverted comma?
Yeah, that is done. And then after, we need to write.
No, greater than sign.
No, greater sign.
This one.
Yeah.
Dot bash rc, right?
Yeah. So right now we are already in home folder. So .bash rc will suffice.
I guess this is done, right? Just
so
take the
why did we write this command? Take a minute to understand. So what echo command does is if you write echo and then in inverted commas you write hello world, yeah, you can show them that echo. Use the echo command. Echo and in inverted commas write hello world or something.
Enter.
Yeah. So it will just give that output. So we just did that, but we put the output in bash rc. It appended that output into bash rc. So basically we put this command into .bash rc file without using GUI, you can see. So now you don't need to write the command again and again.
Yeah, so now like you should like just try that Rosson wala code in the new terminals.
So whenever you open your new terminal, this source command will be ran.
Like, yeah.
That command like also it is, I think, little bit wrong, because like .bash rc also should be appended. So this will cause only that the new command to be in the bash rc. All the older source things, all the other things which are sourcing might, I think, it will.
Yeah, so you should take care of that, obviously. If there are things that are, for example, you have Catkin workspace folder right now present in your system. So if you later at some point delete that and that this line remains in your .bash rc file, then obviously it will output an error because that thing is not there anymore. So you need to keep track of what you're appending to bash RC. So your bash RC file should be, you should do that in GUI. Right now we are not using Linux system, that's why we did this.
Yeah, so like before everyone leaves, like there is one problem you can take it from home. You can take three integer inputs, P1, P2, P3, and now subscriber one S1 will take these messages and carry out this operation, and another subscriber will print this result. So like this problem can take three integer nodes, three like input nodes, and two subscriber nodes. So like you can try this. Like I know like it's like lengthy and just for practice only, right? And just you need to remember that a topic can have only one publisher but infinite subscriber. So there can be a need to create multiple topics and like subscribing from multiple topics. So
So
it's the same thing.
Basically, another hint would be like Sarthak told that we'll have to make three nodes. So the first node will be the publisher, which will publish something, suppose addition operation. It will do the addition operation. Then that second node, it will have a publisher as well as a subscriber. Because the subscriber will receive that and it will publish it to the third node. And in that publisher, what it will do, it will have the multiplication message, it will publish that to the next subscriber. So just keep in mind that in the second node, you'll have both publisher as well as subscriber. And in the third node, you know that it has subscriber.
So yeah, I can like work this out if you are in mood. And I guess now from by this we end our workshop for today. Yeah.
You can ask any doubts if you have.
Yeah, it's done from my side. So I'm like stopping this.
Okay, so we are here for 5 more minutes. If you have any doubts, you can ask. And also, please note that we'll have the second part of the workshop tomorrow at the same at 8 p.m. So.
Adit, you can stop the recording now, I guess.